Welcome, everyone. Noah here on the Dynamics Weekly newsletter and podcast. This is a series of podcasts about Dynamics Communities Community Summit, which is scheduled for October 19th through the 23rd in Orlando, Florida. Here it is. We're already starting in June, and this conference will be here in no time at all. So registration is already open. If you haven't had a chance to do that, jump on their website, check that out. Academy classes are most of the academy classes are the days before Summit actually is listed, and we'll be talking in this series about academy classes with session presenters leading up to the conference. And today we have Scott Lefante with us. Scott, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Noah? Thanks for having me on.
Glad you could join us today. Everything is nice and sunny here in Pensacola. I think are you in Florida as well?
I am. It is somewhat sunny in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, down there near Tampa. Okay, so Scott is halfway down the state. I'm up here way northwest in the Panhandle of Florida, Pensacola. But vacation, summertime is already here, and the beaches are packed.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're already packed. The roads are packed. It's just been very, very busy.
Yep. So Scott, you have a busy schedule coming up for Summit, and a little bit about you. I see that it's listed as you've got a 7-time Microsoft MVP listing here. So kudos for that. Awesome to have those with your title there. And
Thank
you've
you.
been in the Dynamics community for a while, huh?
Yeah, I've been in dynamic space since I think now since 2014. So it's been a long, strange trip.
And your is it your company, Congruent X?
No, Congruent X is no. I just work there as a portfolio partner. We have actually four founding partners who are great people, but grateful for being here.
Is listed on the website as October 19th through the 23rd. Your class actually starts on the Saturday before that, on the 18th. The name of that I've got listed there is Dynamics 365 Field Service 101 Bootcamp, Setup, Configuration, and Best Practices for Success. Have you done this class before?
I have not. I've taught field service when I was with other firms, internally, so teaching new consultants, but have never actually taught this class at boot camp. So I'm really excited. I get to utilize my training skills. I used to be a Microsoft certified trainer as well, so I get to polish those skills off again as well.
And this is a two-day class, so same people both days, right? So it's not like different groups of people.
Correct. Yep. So there's a lot that we need to cover. And so what I wanted to make sure, typically the classes that I've done are usually like 3 or 4 days, but we don't have 3 or 4 days. So we're going to compress it into 2 longer days and cover off on a lot of the different core and key topics within field service. Obviously ones that folks already know about, work orders, scheduling, mobile things of that. But we're going to go into a lot of the really cool features and in some cases features that are less utilized and why they're still important.
So when people log into the website and look at the academy classes for this one, you've got a lot of key topics covered. So a lot that you're packing into those 2 days there, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the intent is, I've already got the lesson, quote unquote, lesson planned, all geared out and ready to go. We've walked through it, so definitely is a lot to go through. But we have a lot of hands-on labs that we're going to do, so it's not going to be me talking. It's going to be folks actually getting in there, putting hands to keyboard and building out things like how to not to exceeds work and how do I go ahead and take the AI agent that's in there for field service and how do I configure it if I want it to do something more than what's out of the box. So we're gonna go through a lot of those like really awesome and amazing features and get folks to really understand it. And what better place to do it and maybe make some mistakes and fix it than in a class that is in a trial environment and doesn't have the impact on the real world.
Right. So they'll come into class with their laptops and they'll set up beforehand or with you the trial site for field service, right?
Correct. Yeah. Hopefully they'll have the opportunity to set it up ahead of time. But if not, we'll go ahead and start the morning and see who doesn't have it set up, and we'll walk through that with some folks. I'm planning on having a couple other MVPs in there with me that are field service based to assist with the training class. So the good news is there'll be plenty of experts in the room to help folks as we go through that morning, whether it's the setup or there's issues, one-off issues here and there, which there typically are, right? I mean, there's always something that happens, whether it's in the trial environment or someone skipped a step and they're not sure. We're going to have a lot of folks in the room to help out.
And your audience for this class, so is it mainly partners that will be in this class, or you think maybe a lot of end users as well?
I'm hoping that there's a lot of end users as well that are new to Dynamics in general. We saw last year that there was a really big push for sort of like go and getting back to the basics, right? Some of the feedback that the community received was, hey, I'd really like to get some 101 on there. So it seems that we're getting a lot of newer folks into the Dynamics eco space. And so my intent and goal is hopefully that it is a lot of end users, but of course partners are welcome. I definitely don't discriminate. I want to go ahead and use my expertise to, get those other partners if they need to get trained, come and learn and let's build this out together. And hopefully I can help you, be successful on projects in the future.
And the other people that'll be with you, kind of like leading the class and troubleshooting
Mhm.
stuff, do you want to put their names on here for the audience, or is that still up
Abs-
in the air?
Absolutely. Well, one of them will be Will McClendon. He's also he's a colleague of mine at CongruentX, but he's also a Microsoft MVP in field service and a scheduling expert. And then I am hoping to also get one or two other folks on there. So those two are up in the air. But if I can get them, man, we're going to have some really good field service experts in that room, and I wouldn't want to miss it.
Good, awesome. So this class is Saturday and Sunday. It's the 2 days before Summit actually kicks off. I want to point out to everybody that it is an academy class, so you have to register for the class separate from Summit. So you can register for both or either one of those, but make sure that you don't just register for Summit and forget to register for the class. Um, and you'll see that on their website under the Academy class section.
Yep, that's a great call out, and because I know there's been in the past folks have like, hey, I registered for Summit, I want to attend this course, and they didn't register for a particular course, and of course, we don't want folks to be disappointed. And if anyone has any questions, obviously find me on social media on LinkedIn. I'm glad to help people walk through the process or point you to the to the community summit folks so that they can go ahead and assist you with your needs as well.
Yep. And it is 2 full days, 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, both days, Saturday and Sunday. Uh, Academy does provide lunch for the attendees and a couple breaks morning and afternoon.
And lots of
But
caffeine will be
five
good.
o'clock, lots of caffeine, awesome. That'll keep them going.
That's right.
And I don't know if you're from the Tampa area, so you probably know your way around the Orlando area with the resort that we're going to have this in.
Oh yeah, the Gaylord Palms is an amazing resort. If folks haven't been there before, it's unlike any other hotel that I've ever stayed in. Right? I mean, it has tons of restaurants in there. It's almost got its own little like sanctuary. With all the fish and the alligators in there. It has an outdoor heated pool with slides, and I mean it's pretty amazing, and very large. So easy to sort of find your way in the maze and not figure out where you are and have to
Yep.
find your way back. But it's a really great hotel. I should say resort.
I do love the area where you walk in through the lobby area, through the registration area, and then you have the first big open atrium with the waterways and the bridges, and
Yeah,
that little section right there is where they have the turtles and the alligators. So great chance for everybody. If you've never seen an alligator, you can see these up and close.
that's right. Not too close. Don't worry, you won't get. You're
Yeah.
not in harm's way.
And they do have some of the classes in that area. This is probably, though, going to be in the conference area, which you have to go through that section, across the bridge to the conference rooms. So I'm guessing it's going to be in that part in the back.
Yeah,
Although
I
I don't
would
think
think
they've
so as
released
well.
rooms yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything with rooms being released. I know that they've finally have, all the speakers have been notified that, what sessions have been selected and which ones haven't. But I haven't seen anything with rooms and necessarily, um, what rooms for the academy classes and what rooms, of course, for the regular summit sessions. I haven't seen those yet.
Right. So that is your class Saturday and Sunday. D365 Field Services 101 Bootcamp Setup, Configuration, and Best Practices for Success. And then you've got 3 sessions that are actually during the week for Summit. So we don't have dates and times for those, but maybe we'll just go through these. The first one I see listed is another field service one, D365 Field Service 101, Tips, Tricks, and Approaches to Avoid Implementation Pitfalls.
Yes, I get asked a lot, and everywhere I go in terms of organizations I've worked for, I've come in and rescued field service projects, and they fail for a bunch of different reasons, and it's never the technology, right? The technology itself works, right? Whether it's Dynamics, it's Salesforce, it's some other technology, the tool itself works as intended. There's always
Mhm.
typically other reasons, and so my biggest thing is educating folks out there as to, hey, why do these projects fail, and how do we avoid that from happening? And so we're going to go over topics such as going in and looking at the tips and tricks for leveraging different areas of the technology for long-term success. What are some of those common pitfalls around whether it's implementation, training, communication, all those different really common pitfalls that we see, and even just really doing the implementation and how we're planning this out. So there's a lot of different things that we're going to go into, and I like to make my sessions interactive. So I always say if people have questions during, to feel free to ask. And I love to get real world feedback from folks on what's going on in their particular projects or endeavors and what they've seen, and talk about that as well.
Yep. And plus, it does make presenters feel good to hear questions from the audience during the session. So don't hold back. It really keeps the momentum of the sessions going there.
Absolutely. It helps us it makes us feel that everyone is active and present and has a vested interest in hearing what we have to say, and are actually learning something from it. So it is very appreciative if folks go ahead and raise their hand. I always say it's not being rude. Don't leave your questions to the end. If you have a question, ask me. If it's something that we have to wait to the end because it's going to be a long explanation, then I'll go ahead and at least advise that way. But definitely want people to feel like they get their voices heard as well.
And this is listed as a breakout session, so about 60 minutes there for that one.
Yep. Yep. Should be a
And
good
then you
time.
have,
And 60 minutes goes by real fast when you're up there.
it does, yes. The next session I see listed is Bridging the Gap, Unlocking the Power of EAM and Field Service in Dynamics 365.
So this one is really interesting because again, another one that's passionate, for me is the concept of customer asset and asset management within field service. And of course, there's asset management over in, say, your ERP system, and everyone thinks that it has to be one way or the other, right? You either manage your assets in one of the systems or you manage it in the other one, but the two can coexist together in harmony. And so one of the things that I'm going to go ahead and explain is, what are the critical differences? Where's the overlap? What's the synergies between the two? And some of the real world case studies that we'll go into and best practices and how you could really implement both to drive smarter decision making and maintenance of your assets, whether they're internal assets or customer assets.
And this is another breakout session, 60 minutes for that one, and it's listed as a 201 intermediate level. They try to classify these as beginner, intermediate, advanced. Sometimes it's kind of hard to really include everybody in one bucket. So
Agreed. And I wish there was a bucket where you could sit there and say, well, it's kind of new, but it's kind of intermediate, or it's expert. And what I've done in the past is I've done in some sessions where they're expert sessions and around a lot around IoT, things of that nature. And they tend not to do well, at least in my experience, at Summit, because they're too much in the weeds and they're too far advanced. So I wanted to bring it down a level and start getting back into the 101, 201 sort of courses, if you will, to bring it back to the community, because I see a bigger audience in those classes than in the expert ones.
Okay. And then you've got the third session, Copilot for Sales 101, unlocking the power of AI for smarter selling. So Copilot is a big topic more and more lately. So it's good to see these rolling out to the conferences. Yeah.
And on this one, I really wanted to kind of address the elephant in the room. I have a lot of customers, and there's probably a lot of organizations that'll be at Summit that are hesitant and reluctant to getting into AI and Copilot use. Right, I hear it all the time, and so what I want to do is, one, sort of dispel some of those myths. What are some of those barriers, and why it might be good to start getting in there now, but also understand what it's all about, all the different capabilities with it, because it's not just a matter of, hey, I go in there and ask it questions. There's a lot it can do. And then explore those sort of practical areas and applications of Copilot for Sales. And then, of course, address the other elephant in the room, which is privacy and just general concerns around AI, what Microsoft's stance is on it, and how privacy and social responsibility and things of that are taken care of within Copilot for Sales.
Great topic there. So those 3 sessions there, those are part of the Summit days. So if you register for Summit, those are included in the middle of that week, between the 19th and 23rd. Again, that Academy class on the 18th and 19th is a separate registration, so keep that in mind. Scott, are you going to have a booth in the expo hall?
Actually, we are not having a booth this year, but I will be walking around, and I will also be, once they do the sign up for the Tech Medic desk, I'm going to sign up for a lot of those. So if folks want to meet with me, more than likely I'll be at the Tech Medic desk, but I'll also go ahead and post something out on LinkedIn to say, hey, if people are at Summit and they want to meet up, I'll put something out there where they can schedule some time with me, and we can go ahead and talk about whatever the needs may be, or if they just have questions, or they just want to chat about field service or AI. Definitely we'll make the time for the community to ask them, or have them ask me anything that they need outside of the sessions or the Tech Medic booth.
So in between your sessions or after class or anything, you'll be at the Medic booth, so people can meet up there with you there. You'll be listed on the mobile app, which hasn't come out yet. That'll probably, I heard it's coming out in July or so. So they'll probably have messaging inside the mobile app. You're on LinkedIn. Any other way people should contact you for scheduling time to get together with you to talk about different topics during Summit?
Yeah, I think that those two are the best, LinkedIn, and there's usually a link, and I'll make sure it's there on my LinkedIn profile to schedule some time with me. But obviously with the Community Summit app, that's also a fantastic way because I'll have that on there, and since I will be there the entire week. I'll have plenty of time to go ahead and meet with individuals or organizations to talk about their needs, whether it's the Power Platform, it could be field service, sales, Copilot, whatever it may be. Have those conversations, and whether it's we meet somewhere, we have a drink, grab a bite to eat, or just an informal conversation in the hallway. Anything is fine.
Well, and I saw where, so your field service class and sessions are on the track for field service. Copilot, has that got a track by itself?
That it, it's
AI.
Yeah, it's primarily, yeah, I was gonna say it's primarily AI. It realistically, it could be tied to D365 sales. So if you're a D365 sales organization, you can go ahead and that one would be applicable to you as well, especially if you're either new to it or you're not really sure how best to leverage all the features and functions of it. Um, I've put together a lot of training content on Copilot for sales over the past year or so. And I think in one case, I actually had I think my original document for Copilot for sales was like 90 pages. And I go, yeah, I need to cut that back. But that's how much content there is around, Copilot for sales. So it just goes to show you how robust of a tool it can be. And that's why so many people don't realize everything it can do.
Yep. I'm using it more and more myself, and then I mean everybody is using whether they really realize it or not. I think so. It's out there, and it's a huge part of the Dynamics environment.
Absolutely, no, you're absolutely right, and it's everywhere. I mean, it's in your Outlook, it's in your D365, it's in your Teams. So it really is a great tool that I think doesn't get enough credit.
Arena.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, it broke up on my side.
How long have you been in the Dynamics arena?
I've been in the Dynamics arena now for 11 years. And I think this is my minus the year where I think it was COVID. Uh,
Hmm.
and and actually, I think I missed it for surgery. I think I've been doing the community summit, um, speaking at community summit since I think like 2017 or 2018. So it's been a long time. So it's been about 8 years speaking at these engagements and about 11 or 12 years in D365. So it's been a blessing to be a part of this community. I mean, I think everyone, and it's a pretty close knit community. Everyone thinks like, oh, Dynamics is big, and it is, but it's a very close knit community of folks and very talented individuals. Whether they're
Hmm.
partners, they're end users, MVPs, Microsoft folks. I mean, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in this community.
And I'll throw in there that if you are brand new to Dynamics, if you're just starting and using it at your company or whatever brings you into the Dynamics group of products, this, range of products, the people that work with them, the partners, Microsoft itself, it's a very um, welcoming environment. So there are going to be a ton of people if you come down to Summit, which we hope you do attend Summit. I think they have it's going to be thousands of people at the registration for all the different products that Microsoft has. But don't let that discourage you from attending. Don't let that discourage you from meeting new people. It's very big on their list for networking and meeting people in your own industry, meeting people who are using the products that you're using. They may have dealt with issues at their companies that you're trying to solve for your company. So don't be afraid to chat with brand new people, find out who they are, find out what they're dealing with, and see if you both can build on that, working with those
Yeah.
products together.
Yeah, that's some great feedback and advice for folks because I've seen that and spoken to folks that have attended different sessions and they said, hey, this is where I've met, you know, so and so from this organization, and they had some similar challenges and issues. So attend those sessions where not only do you think you're going to get value from the speaker, but also where you can mingle with other users within that session and pick their brains. They might be going through the same thing, or you might actually have some advice for them as well. So it really is, a session, a conference that I think is beneficial to all, especially as we cross collaborate with everybody, right? Share that knowledge. Ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question or a wrong question. Every question is valuable.
Mhm. All right, Scott, thank you for joining me today. It's always great to share with our audience news about upcoming events like Summit. To all of our listeners out there, if you get a chance, please try to meet and introduce yourself to Scott down at Summit. It's always great to meet people in person, to associate a face with an email conversation or questions that come in across the mobile app or something. So it's always a big part of these conferences is about networking, education, meeting new people, sharing ideas. All right. So thanks, Scott. Hopefully we will see all of you in Orlando.
Great. Thank you, Noah. I appreciate your time or having me on, excuse me, on today's session. It was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.